Hi, this is Kelly from The Truth and Story, and tonight is the 29th of January, so we are on the 29 days of 31 days of tarot. I'm going to quickly get the question out of the way because it's a very short one for me, so before I start babbling about something else, I will go ahead and get it finished. So the question is, do you have a tarot mentor? Who are they and how do they inspire you? I do not have a tarot mentor in the sense that, you know, I have a specific person who has been teaching me and leading me down the path. I've been learning tarot, I think we figured out about maybe 13 years ago or so, and have been primarily self-taught up until maybe I'm trying to think when I found Kellyanne Maddox's YouTube channel was probably a couple years ago. Last year for sure. It actually might have been last year. I'll have to look it up. It might have been last year. So a year, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Within the last 2 years, I did find some YouTube people. Kellyanne Maddox was the first one that I stumbled on after having looked at some Lenormand YouTube ones. Because I hadn't really been looking for tarot ones because I had by that time pretty much set my, set tarot things, and I was studying it through the guidebooks and through books and things like that, but I hadn't been specifically looking. So I had actually stumbled on that after having looked at, watching some Lenormand ones. So I learned a lot from Kellyanne for sure. But in terms of a mentor, which I think of more as a one-on-one basis of actually working with somebody, because I'm assuming that's what the question means, then I do not have a tarot mentor. But I have plenty of people who inspire me, just people who write the books. Annabelle Wen, of course, inspires me because she just is amazing, truthfully. The well of knowledge from her. I watch her Instagram feed and she shows like pictures of her journals, and I think I would never show ever my face of any part of my journal after seeing some of hers. Like she had a chakra journal that I just want a copy of because today I've been working on the chakras. I'm like, Annabelle, please just give me a photocopy that page that you of the chakras that you have in your journal that you showed on Instagram, because I would, be thrilled to have that. Certainly just from her website to her website was one of the ones that I found too early on. And so I certainly, in terms of internet presences, I definitely have learned a lot from Annabelle and a lot from Kellyanne, but there are any interaction that I have, I learned something from people. But in terms of that being inspired by, I get inspired by everybody, to be honest, because you just see new ways of looking at things and it's inspiring. But again, my understanding of this question is more of a one-on-one mentorship, and no, I do not have a mentor in that capacity. So, if that answers any questions. So that's that question. I knew that was going to be a quick one, so I thought I'll set that aside. The one thing I do want to mention is that tomorrow I will be doing a live video again because I'm having so much fun with the Saturday live videos. And it's going to be done, so that's tomorrow, January 30th, right? Would that be the 30th? Yeah, because today's 29th. So January 30th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time I was going to say for Alaskans. For Australians, that's obviously going to be Saturday. So if it'll be your Sunday, I'm guessing. Don't listen to me. You'll have to figure it out because I'm bad about that. But I know there was somebody who missed it because they're, living in the future. So that will be Saturday, January 30th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is going to go on tomorrow. Today, I have been working on chakra stuff because I have been working with a chakra reading for some time, getting kind of comfortable with it before I'm going to put it was going to put it on my shop because I really like working with it. I like the energy and the information that it gives. And then somebody had asked me how I, figure out blockages, and there's a couple ways. There's a way I've kind of settled in on doing it, but I tried a number of different ways, which all work. It just depends on what resonates with you. So I did start a video just because I needed to lay some things down to take a picture, so then I started doing a video. But it started to get very convoluted, and I scrapped it, and so I'm going to start fresh, because then once I kind of muddled my way through it, then I was like, okay, now I know what it is I'm trying to get across, and so I'll have to restart it. But, so I have been working with the chakra stuff today, so that has been fun. It's always good, because like I said, I've been working with this reading for a couple months, but not professionally. I haven't put it up for my professional readings, but it's fun, not fun, but it is informative. Once, I've kind of done all the work, I'm comfortable with the reading, but then to go and sit down and explain it so that, step by step, I'm kind of not going in depth. I am not a chakra expert, but just giving the basics of the chakras and things like that, and how things work, or how I perceive them to work, and then going into the reading, having to kind of step through that makes me sort of focus everything that I've been kind of working on into, and I learn from that experience of trying to put a video out of it. So it's an actually really great step just in terms of learning. So that has been informative. So I've been working on that. Of course, if you've seen the video came out earlier, I did pick up the Zombie Tarot today and have already edged it and smudged it. I'm so in love with this deck. And again, not so in love as the same as with like my Bohemian Gothic, where I am so in love with this deck, and it reads amazingly, and I use it for client readings. Love this. It's become one of my top ones. But I love it more than now. I knew I was going to like it, but this isn't a deck, to be honest, that I could see just pulling out and doing a reading for a client cold. Meaning, not a cold reading, which from what I have learned, is not what I thought it was. But, somebody that had no expectations and just came to me for a reading, I wouldn't just pull out a Zombie Tarot, because it's hilarious, it's tongue-in-cheek, it's very much, you can pick up the regular meanings of it. It's very right-away, it's very traditional meaninged. So you can certainly read with it. It reads wonderfully, but I wouldn't just pull this out on a random person, because not everybody likes zombies. Not everybody wants to see, there's little children zombies in high chairs chewing on bones. Like, not everybody wants to see that. I get that. So I really wouldn't just pull. So to some degrees, this is a collectible because I am a zombie fanatic. So some degrees, although I do see ways in which I will be able to use this. Halloween time. I may even just offer a, reading, every so often, where I kind of, sometimes people offer readings where you can choose from the decks. And so, I might do a darker themed deck and have this as one of the choices, just that kind of thing. But I wouldn't spring it on somebody. Or again, at Halloween, when it's, have images up there so people know what they're getting. I would use this. For myself, I will use this. For, friends and family, or somebody that requests it or something, I would, because it reads perfectly fine. And is a lot of fun, but it's not going to become a workhorse deck. I knew that when I bought it, but it's fantastic. So for, the video's already up. For those of you who are not interested in zombies, although it does give you some tips on how to survive a zombie apocalypse in the video, so that may be worth it just for that. But in a nutshell, I think it's fantastic. It's a $17 deck. I got it for $12. I think you can get it for $12 or $13 on Amazon. It's amazing quality for that price point, I think. The box is fantastic. The marketing, or what would you call that? The box design, whatever you want to call the aspect of pulling together the image, so to speak, of the deck, is top notch. Everything on this box is hilarious, is suitable, is kitschy, is like 1950s. The little white book is small. It doesn't give you a ton of information, but it's done with amazing graphics. It has coupons in the back that are beautifully done, like old coupons of zombie things like Get Your Own Trained Zombie, survival lessons, bite-proof Under Armour. It's just really well done for the price point. So if you are interested in zombies, you know, go take a look at the the first impressions. You can get some book suggestions, some movie suggestions, some survival suggestion tips, all that you can find there. If you like this, because a couple people did say, oh, that looks amazing, I'm just not really into zombies. These same people did the Housewives Tarot, which I believe is set in that same 1950s kind of kitschy atmosphere. I wasn't really interested in that, but after seeing this one, I'm going to have to go take a better look at that one, because I'm really blown away at just the whole packaging of this particular deck. So that was that, and it does go into how I edged this, because I edged it on purpose to be mucky or smudgy, and I smudged, or I did a lot actually. I worked really hard to make the cards to be dirty and smudgy, because, you know, these are supposed to be ones you pull out in the midst of apocalypse, and so they're not going to be perfectly clean. So I absolutely love how it turned out. It actually, I said actually like 4 times in a row. It took much longer than, you know, I would think for having done a deliberately bad job with it. But, you know, I really wanted it to look a particular way. And so it did actually take longer. I said actually again, that's terrible. It took longer to get a messy look. But I love how it turned out. It's perfect. So I'm babbling because I love that. That was a lot of fun. So that's that. I've answered the question. I'm going to go ahead and do the reading today with the John Holland Psychic Tarot of the Heart Oracle. I know it says tarot on it. It's not a tarot deck. It's an oracle deck. I do like this. I have a review or a walkthrough of this deck. I don't particularly love the artwork. I really don't. But I do like the deck, and it actually, I have found that it reads quite clear, and has something to say. So it's one that I would certainly keep around. I do sometimes use it in conjunction with the chakras. Sometimes if I'm going to do an oracle reading with it, I will shuffle the chakras and pull a chakra card first to see what is, you know, we'll do that today just so we can kind of get a feel for that. So I'm just going to shuffle the chakras and pull a card, and we'll see which one. So this is the, I don't know if you can see it because it's kind of glary. This is a sacral chakra. This is the color orange, as you can see. This is to do with the rights of to feeling. It's to feeling and wanting. This is about movement and fluidity. This is about sexuality, physical pleasure, sensation, you know, the things that we want, the things that we desire, you know, those kinds of things. So this will be the position, so to speak, that we're going to pull a card on. And then let me go ahead and pull an actual card. I already shuffled a bit and see what we get. So we get rebuild. So here we have a card, and it's really interesting because she's actually kind of pulling energy to herself. We do see sort of the tower kind of, something has kind of broken that sense of something about this has been broken. Let's see, what if we held it like this. So we're in the sacral, we're talking about the sacral chakra. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. I really can't. I've actually started this video over a couple times because I cannot talk today. But here we're in the sacral chakra. This is again about our physicality, our movement, our our needs, our wants, and something in that area has become damaged. This would be the Tower card. And so we have that sense of there being in this deck, because it's more like an oracle deck, so I kind of mostly go off of this. We do have the Tower imagery, so we know that there has been some damage done, which is kind of cleaned away things. The shards have already fallen, but we need to start rebuilding. So there is, let's look at some more. I do, because I was doing the video, I have sort of my different sheets here. So this is in the area of the pelvis, which makes sense for the sexual energy, which would be in the reproductive organs. This has to do with actually emotions. You would think that that would be strictly in the heart, but it's not. It has emotions. This is the color orange. This is a water element, which then again also tells us about the emotions being part of it. The planet is the moon, so we have that sort of subconscious aspect that's being pulled in here. The senses are tasting. It's the physicality of things. Again, the right is to feel and to want. And some of the keywords are need, desire, sensation, emotion, sexuality, physical pleasure, movement. And there's something in that area that is needing to be rebuilt. There has been a disconnect, perhaps, with our emotions. There has been damage done to our emotions, to the things that we feel like that we feel, all of the aspects and the ways in which we feel, both physical and emotionally. There has been a damage or a break there that needs to be rebuilt, needs to be put back together. There have been pieces that have been broken off, and we need to integrate this, much like we would see with the Strength card. Why don't we go ahead, because that is quite interesting. It mostly tells us what the area is in terms of our physicality, our desires, our wants, our feelings, our emotions, and it also tells us that we need rebuilding, but it doesn't really give us what is the direction, what is the way in which we might need to rebuild that. So let's just pull another card that might speak more directly to how we might do that. And look what we have. We have Trust. I love this card. Again, not a huge fan of this artwork, but I love the card with the open chestedness, just, trusting. This is the Fool card. This is that, starting fresh, starting over new. You have to open it, which is difficult, because we're saying that in the realm of the emotions, in the realm of the moon, in the realm of the things that we need, the things that we want, in the realm of intimacy and all of those kinds of things, which really do make us quite vulnerable, especially if we've been hurt. Like we can see here, something has been damaged and we need to rebuild it. That's very difficult to open yourself up and be vulnerable in order to facilitate that rebuilding. That's not easy to do, but we do often have to do that. There is a point where which we need to protect ourselves so that we can heal, but once everything has settled, the dust is settled from the Tower card, everything is settled and it's time to rebuild, there's a point in which we do have to open our chest up and be vulnerable and be able to kind of go at new experiences and go move towards the world with an open chest, and which is a vulnerable position, but at some point in the healing. And it doesn't mean when you're really like laying there, bloody and broken, that you want to be doing that. You have to have use that, intuitive sense that says, okay, I've done all the healing I can do in this protective stance, and now it's time to open up, if that makes sense. So I actually quite like that. I like to use these cards this way, sometimes with the chakra cards, especially as I'm, learning. It just kind of makes me stretch my brain a little bit more with how these things tie together. So it's like a fun exercise for me. And so I really liked that. So I hope that that was helpful to somebody. I'm always happy. I always get something out of it, which is good. And so it's kind of my card of the day. And so if even one other person gets something out of these cards of the day, it's well worth it to me. So I hope that that helps somebody. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I really do feel very babbly. Not for any reason. It's been a great day, busy day, but a good day. But I feel very, I'm actually cutting, which is kind of funny because I'm kind of babbling, which you would think would be because I've had too much caffeine. But I'm normally pretty much have an IV of Diet Coke, or not Diet Coke, Coke Zero, in my veins, and I have cut my pop this week very much down, and have been drinking lots of water and flushing my system out. I have not completely cut it. I do allow myself 1, sometimes 2 glasses in the day, small glasses in the day, but I'm drinking way more water than pop. So you would think that I would be like dragging from the lack of caffeine, but I'm actually wired up, so who knows. I'm probably in that weird phase in the flushing. The first 3 days are really hard when you've lowered your caffeine dramatically, and then I must be just starting to get on the other end of it. I don't know. I haven't had sugar or anything, but look at me, I'm going so I'm gonna end this here before I make a bigger fool out of myself. So you all have an absolutely wonderful night, and I hope that you have a great day tomorrow. If you are watching this tomorrow, then have a great day today. Well, so I guess either way, have a great day or night. All right, talk to you later.